Our guest today is chairman of the Illinois Toll Highway Authority. He has served 3 terms in the past, he has served 3 terms as chairman of the DuPage County Board. Our guest today has devoted over 30 years of public service in DuPage County. He earned his bachelor's degree at Illinois College and his law degree at Chicago-Kent. Our guest today and his wife, Mary Beth, who is a judge, live in Naperville. And he has 3 grown children, Connor, Kurt, and he's so smart, he brought his other daughter, Kate, who is with us today. Kate, why don't you wave to everybody? Don't be shy. Give her a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Schillerstrom. Bob? Thank you, sir. Jay?
Well, thank you, Jay. And thank you all for coming out on sort of a marginal day. Appears that we have a full house. My wife had asked me this morning, she said, do you think you're going to have a good turnout? And I said, well, appears to me from what I'm being told that there's going to be a lot of people there. And she said, well, recognize the fact that you're probably popular, not because of who you are, but because you work at an agency that's going to spend $8 to $13 million a day. So for whatever reason you came out, I appreciate it. Before I begin, I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge my family. My wife Mary couldn't be with us today, and my 2 boys, Connor and Kurt, could also not be with us. One of my boys is working in Sydney, Australia, and the other one in Minneapolis. As Jay said, I'm very happy to have my daughter Kate here, who has just come back from Australia herself, a year there. So Kate, thank you for being with me. I'd also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge my law firm, Ice Miller. Ice Miller, besides providing great legal services, is also a great group of people. They, as my family does, give me the opportunity to provide this public service, and they've been committed to public service for the last 100 years. So thank you, Kate, for being here, and thank you, Ice Miller, for giving me the opportunity to do this, and also for the public service that you provide. Well, I am honored to be here today to address you as the relatively new chairman of the Illinois Tollway. As many of you know, I've devoted much of my life to serving DuPage County and advocating for our region of the state. Now I get to do so from inside an organization that's not only transforming the way we travel, but also fueling job growth and economic development in northern Illinois. Everyone in this room understands what the Illinois Tollway can do. You've seen it year after year. The congestion relief program brought you open road tolling. Thank you, Jack and Brian. Rebuilt and widened the north and south portions of the Tri-State and Reagan Memorial Tollways, and built the new 12.5-mile extension, the south extension, to 355. Now under the Move Illinois program, we've connected the Tri-State and I-57. We're rebuilding the Jane Addams Memorial Tollway and the Central Tri-State Tollway, and we are finally making the Elgin O'Hare Western Access project a reality. It takes a strong team to be successful, and I'd like to recognize the Tollway Board and staff here today that are part of the team, including directors David Gonzalez and Nick Sauer. If you guys could give a wave, I would appreciate it. Thank you, guys. And Executive Director Greg Bedloff and other members of the staff. If you guys could give a wave, I would appreciate it. I thank you for your hard work and your dedication. So you may ask why. Why did Governor Rauner send Greg Bedloff, our board, and myself to an agency with a well-defined, well-funded program that is well underway? The answer lies in the fact that, like the governor, the board, Greg, and I understand that the horizon for the Illinois Tollway is not just the next 10 years of Move Illinois. We know that it's much, much longer and broader than that. We know we have to look ahead, way ahead, to anticipate how travel will change and to prepare for that future. Our region is the transportation hub of this nation and is or should be the transportation hub of North America. The history of Illinois is built on being a transportation hub. The future of Illinois depends on us strengthening our position as a transportation hub, and we at the Tollway are committed to that goal. We also know that if we want our region to continue to create opportunities for economic development and jobs, we have to work closely with IDOT, planning and transit agencies, and others to shape the future. Secretary Blankenhorn and I meet regularly to discuss how our agencies can work together to improve our transportation system. I'm also happy my friend Kirk Dillard, chairman of the RTA, is here today. Kirk and I will be spending a lot of time in the future discussing ways to integrate transit into our roadways. And as part of that future, we are committed to minimizing environmental impacts by promoting collaborative, efficient, sustainable practices, including partnering with the Morn Arboretum on finding ways to expand the urban forest, and also working with the Conservation Foundation in incorporating more native plantings along our roadways. I'm happy the Executive Director of the Morn Arboretum, Jerry Donnelly, is with us today. Jerry, thank you for being here. Ultimately, with vision and cooperation, we are committed to making the Illinois Tollway the best toll agency in the world. I'm absolutely confident we can achieve that goal, and I'll spend a little time today sharing how we hope to get there. First, let's start with where we are today. We start with a solid foundation. The Illinois Tollway has grown, evolved, and improved since the authority was created in 1953. The original 187-mile tollway system that opened to traffic in 1958 initially served 66,000 daily drivers. Today, the 286-mile tollway system serves an average of 1.5 million daily drivers across 12 counties in northern Illinois. And we operate the nation's largest open road tolling system with more than 2.3 million daily toll transactions. And we boast the highest percentage of electronic toll collecting among tolling systems in the U.S. More than 87% of all transactions are iPass or EasyPass, and we are committed to increasing our electronic tolling. In 2016, we are projecting revenues of nearly $1.3 billion, up 7% from the estimated 2015 revenues of $1.2 billion, as well as an increase in traffic volume of over 3%. Increased revenues are being driven by several factors. They include continuing economic expansion, recovering regional employment, lower fuel prices, roadway investments made over the past decade, and better value for our customers. And importantly, people like using Illinois' tollway. Now let's look ahead. The transportation industry is buzzing over what's being called disruptive future. You hear it everywhere. Driverless cars will be the norm in our lifetime. Smartphones are allowing more freedom and choice than ever before. To keep up, roads will have to operate as whole systems because drivers want seamless travel between IDOT roads, local roads, and the tollway. As I said, for more than 150 years, Chicago has been the hub for transportation in the United States. A hub is a center, a connection to multiple parts. Since we are a transportation hub, shouldn't all of our parts be working together? IDOT, the RTA, PACE, CTA, Metra, our airports, and county and local roads all make up our transportation system and need to work together for the system to operate efficiently. I believe it's all about cooperation. It's about working together on transportation solutions for tomorrow while recognizing the needs of today. The Illinois Tollway, under the leadership of Governor Rauner, our board, myself, and Greg Bedeloff is all about leading, finding new opportunities, and working together to achieve those opportunities. The possibilities are exciting. We know that when we cooperate with IDOT and others, we can achieve congestion relief. As we all know, we can't build our way out of congestion, but we can take advantage of the infrastructure that's already there and use technology to improve travel, reduce congestion, and deliver a reliable and efficient multimodal transportation system to not only meet the demands of today, but also of the future. And not just on the Illinois Tollway, but also on other interstates and expressways in our region. The opportunity for cooperation is here now. IDOT has initiated the I-55 Managed Lane Study along the I-55 corridor from the Veterans Memorial Tollway to the Dan Ryan Expressway. They are evaluating options for improving traffic flow by adding an express toll lane in each direction along the I-55 corridor. We are working closely with IDOT to help deliver this project. Sharing our expertise, experience, and technology with IDOT allows us to leverage our collective assets to provide broad regional transportation benefits. A very important project for our region in the Tollway are developing plans for rebuilding the Central Tri-State. Collaborating with IDOT and others, we are working to identify solutions to improve regional mobility along that corridor. We have the opportunity to seek partnered solutions to improve connections between 294 at major interstates such as I-290 and I-55, and to consider locally desired access to the 294 corridor. We have the opportunity to explore the potential to add capacity through technology and evaluate the integration of transit under that roadway. We can examine the feasibility of additional truck parking and freight-specific improvements to improve mobility and support safe and reliable travel for commercial vehicles. These efforts on the Central Tri-State could also provide an opportunity to re-emphasize our role as the nation's transportation hub for freight, with improvements along the 294 corridor that serve major logistics hubs and rail yards. And the opportunities will continue. IDOT is developing a plan to rebuild I-290, the Eisenhower Expressway. The I-290 study area extends from I-88 on the west to Racine Avenue on the east. With the comprehensive public evaluation process nearing conclusion, 3 of the 4 alternatives include converting the existing inside lanes between Austin and Racine to provide managed toll lanes. The Tollway is ready to help or lead, whatever we can do to make that project a reality. Given the reality of limited funding for transportation and the ever-growing demand for improved mobility, IDOT, the RTA, and the Tollway must work together now in ways that we never have before. Partnering now to make sure we have systems that work together is critical to all of our futures. And when we cooperate, we can cooperate with O'Hare. We can envision a seamless western access to O'Hare Airport. The Elgin O'Hare Western Access Project will feature the first all-electronic roadways on the Illinois Tollway system, creating free-flow, nonstop access directly to the west side of O'Hare International Airport. And I remain committed to continuing to advocate for a western terminal at O'Hare Airport. Construction is well underway to build the new Illinois Route 390. In fact, the reconstruction of the far western end is complete. We are prepared to transition from an IDOT roadway to a tollway next year from US Route 20 to I-290. And we are on schedule to deliver the eastern portion of the new tollway from I-290 to Illinois Route 83 by the end of 2017. Similar to the rest of the tollway system, I-Pass or Easy Pass transponders will be used to collect tolls on the new tollway. And customers without transponders will be able to pay their tolls online. A survey of drivers indicated that 90% of drivers currently traveling in the Elgin-O'Hare corridor have I-Pass. And of those without I-Pass, nearly 1/4 indicated that they would obtain one to use the new roadway once it opens. Already, customers are telling us how much time they are saving because the roadway and bridge improvements we've made have opened up free flow travel from I-290 all the way to Hanover Park. When complete, the new Illinois Route 390 will reduce travel time by more than 7 minutes for the 11-mile trip between the west side of O'Hare and Lake Street, a savings of 25%. What's more, the new all-electronic roadways are the gateway to 127 square miles of opportunity for redevelopment and reinvestment in local communities. With seamless access to the airport from the west, combined with the completion of the western terminal at O'Hare, current estimates anticipate the opportunity to create as many as 65,000 direct and indirect jobs by 2040. The Illinois Tollway is providing the connection, and O'Hare must provide the terminal and seamless connectivity to the east side of the airport. The new access is critical for businesses on the west side of O'Hare, especially those with international headquarters. Some of those businesses include Fellows Incorporated, a manufacturer and market of office products, and Knowles Corporation, a supplier of advanced electronics components, both with global headquarters in Itasca. Additionally, U.S. Foods, one of the nation's largest food service distributors, serves a wide variety of markets with their headquarters in Bensonville. And the promise of this new access is paving the way for new opportunities in the western suburbs, opportunities for existing businesses to expand and new firms to locate here from around the world. Stern Pinball, one of the world's oldest and largest pinball companies, resisted calls from other states to relocate and instead moved and expanded into a 110,000 square foot building in Elk Grove Village, staying close to O'Hare and making the suburb a global hub for the next generation of pinball machines. And we know we must cooperate with the RTA, CTA, Metra, and PACE. That will give us other seamless transportation options. When envisioning the Move Illinois program, the Illinois Tollway made a commitment to integrate transit into our roadways for the first time in the agency's history. As a result, we are building in the ability for PACE buses to drive in the shoulder lanes, and PACE is preparing to build its first park and ride facilities within tollway interchanges along I-90 to give commuters accesses to more options for travel. And this is just a start. When complete, the Jane Addams Memorial Tollway will be a state-of-the-art 21st century corridor introducing active traffic management. Active traffic management will incorporate the latest technology available that will allow us to go beyond signs that share travel times. We will provide real-time information to drivers about traffic incidents ahead, advisory speeds, as well as post messages about alternate routes. And we will have the capacity to work with our transit partners at PACE, CTA, and Metra to connect our systems. If the tollway can provide drivers real-time information about the transit services connected to our roadways, we will be able to give commuters many more options. And if our transit partners can deliver predictable, reliable bus options on our expressways and tollways, they can help us manage or even reduce congestion for drivers on our roadway during rush hours. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We are committed to making the Illinois Tollway the best toll agency in the world. We already do a lot of things well, but I believe the Illinois Tollway is capable of more. Technology is changing our lives regularly, and the Tollway is committed to using technology for the fullest, for the safety, convenience, and overall benefit of our transportation system. We are also more committed to diversity than ever before. The Tollway already has a solid commitment to ensure all types and sizes of businesses have the opportunity to work with the Tollway from procurement to construction. For example, through September 2015, a total of 890 firms have worked on Illinois Tollway projects since Move Illinois began. Of those, more than half, 460 firms, are new to the Tollway, and about 1/5 of those firms, 103, are either minority, women, or veteran-owned firms. But I think we can and should be doing more. We want to give more opportunities to minorities and women. So one of the first things I asked our board to do was to create a diversity and inclusion committee. And I am grateful to Director Corey Brooks, who agreed to chair our diversity and inclusion committee. We will continue to support minority and women-owned firms as well as small and veteran-owned businesses by doing a better job of providing assistance and by reducing obstacles to ensure these firms succeed and create more jobs. I am very proud that one of the first executive decisions Greg and I made was to create the Tollway's very first veterans program within our vendor and contractor community. Our veterans are the reason we enjoy our freedoms, and we are proud to support them and want to help to create jobs and opportunities for them. We are committed to providing more assistance to help business owners who want to take their businesses to the next level at the Tollway, but are hindered by our processes and paperwork. And for those firms that have stepped up and taken on work on our projects, we want to ensure the big successful firms that already know the ropes are there to serve as mentors and to help our women, minority, and veterans succeed. And we also want our customer service staff, our maintenance sites, and even the construction crews working on the Tollway to reflect the state and the communities we serve. It's our goal to throw open the doors at the Illinois Tollway, the training centers, the banks, the union halls, and the firms we do business with to support a more diverse workforce. It is our goal to create access to as many sustainable jobs as possible. Regardless of your race, ethnicity, religion, everybody needs and wants a job. Sustainable jobs are one of the most important things a person can have. With a job, you can support yourself, support your family, contribute to the economy, and contribute to your community. Jobs are very important for all of our self-worth. One of the things that I believe government can do and should do is create an environment where jobs can be created and where people have access to jobs. At the Tollway, we ensure that everyone has access, including African Americans, Asians, Hispanics, veterans, and women. At the Tollway, as I said before, we are spending between $8 to $13 million a day on the Move Illinois program. There are many jobs created by what we do. While what we have is good, as I said before, we believe we can do better. So I have challenged our agency as a whole to look at our diversity policies and programs. If training is a problem, find ways to train people so they can fill these jobs. I've asked staff to define the problems and then come up with solutions. We are committed to creating jobs as well as new access to jobs for women and minority in Illinois that will allow them to support themselves and their families. Most importantly, we are committed to delivering our capital program improvements on schedule and within budget. This is the legacy that Greg, the board, and I have inherited, and we intend to hold up our end. We would expect and accept nothing less. The Move Illinois program is a 15-year and $12 billion program. It is the most aggressive program in the history of the Illinois Tollway. Next year will be the fourth year in a row that we expect to deliver $1 billion or more in improvements to the Tollway. How are we doing it? How can we afford it? We and our customers pay our own way. We are fortunate to be a user-supported toll road system. We believe it is the fairest way to pay for roads. have the user pay. Elsewhere, major projects to rebuild roads or even build new roads or add capacity are delayed, or worse yet, shelved altogether until the day when there is enough tax money. We are seeing, not just here in Illinois, but nationally as well, that the current methods of funding transportation are simply not working. Local, state, and federal budgets face an uphill battle to identify transportation funds to pay for the maintenance for upkeep on the roads and bridges we already have. Government budgets are already stretched when it comes to paying for other equally important programs and services, such as education and public safety. Relying on gas tax revenue is not sustainable. While historically efficient, we won't be able to generate higher revenue from a system that taxes something people will be using less of as cars and trucks become more efficient and transit options become more effective. On the other hand, the tollway system is a thriving, successful example of how direct user charging and pricing can and does work. The technology and business models needed to support these systems already exist, and we are actively using them and putting the infrastructure in place so we can be ready to implement new innovative technology as it emerges. The tollway has shown it knows how to build things. And most importantly, we understand we couldn't do it without the industry's hard work, commitment, and cooperation. And with the coordination and cooperation with IDOT and all of the communities we serve. When you look back on the tollway's history, you might be amazed to learn that it took only 5 years, from 1953 to 1958, to build the original 187-mile tollway system. Only 5 years. 3 new roads that at the time were a visionary step forward. That success fueled the spirit of the Illinois Tollway and continues to drive us today. I see many opportunities that will not only allow us to enhance the system of roadways we maintain for our customers, but also to help improve our regional economy and our regional transportation system and our position as the transportation hub of our country and North America. We will complete the new state-of-the-art I-90 tollway and deliver the Elgin O'Hare Western Access Project on time. We are developing our plans in cooperation with IDOT, local communities, and the freight industry to replace the Central Tri-State Tollway with a new roadway designed to meet the region's needs today and into the future. We will be joining with IDOT and our public transit agencies to implement new solutions, including managed lanes to reduce congestion and increase capacity on I-55 and the Eisenhower Expressway, and wherever else that we can help improve our transportation system. As I said, these are exciting times. With our proud history as a guide and with a strong vision for the future and with our commitment to cooperation, I am absolutely confident that we can make the Illinois Tollway the best toll agency in the world. Thank you.
It's always dangerous after one of these speeches to ask for questions. We have young Amanda over there. Give your usual wave, Amanda. There she goes. There she is. By the way, don't feel embarrassed. It happens all the time. The more money on the table, the less questions you receive. Is that right, Gene? Yeah. Well, by the way, we have a little Abe Lincoln here. We do have the president of the Lake County Board, Aaron Lawler. Aaron, where are you? Raise your hand. There you are, right over there. Well, guess we could just have parting gifts. Bob?
Here's a question.
Oh, a question. Thanks, Steve. Steve Schlickman, Urban Transportation Center at UIC. I heard that's in Chicago, right? Yes. Yeah. The Tollway Board just approved a major study. Oh, good. One question and we sandbag them. This is what the City Club likes. The Tollway Board just approved a major study of extending 53 North. Can you explain the status of that? That is the most recent one, not the one that goes back 30 years.
Well, you know, Steve's hardly ever wrong, but the Tollway Board has not approved it yet. The committee approved it and has recommended it to the Tollway Board. It will be on the agenda at our next Tollway Board meeting, and I would never forecast a vote, but there's been a lot of study done on that road. It obviously has created some divided opinions up in Lake County. Chairman Lawler has been a very strong leader on that. And I will say that I know that 355 was transformative in DuPage County when that road was approved and built. And I suspect, based on the vote that came out of the Customer Service Committee, that there's a good chance that that vote will be favorable at the next meeting. And then, if it's approved, that just approves the EIS. And the EIS will take 3 to 5 years. And then, depending on what happens with the EIS, then it will come back to the Tollway, and the ultimate decisions will be made whether to move forward, not move forward, and if the choice is made to move forward, what the ultimate alignment would be.
Good answer. And by the way, 5, probably 10 more years. Bob, you can do it again. I go back to the original one, and I was a very young professor. Any other questions?
There's another one coming up.
One more. Okay. Don't overburden me. Thank you, young Amanda. Okay. Ken Perello, Deloitte. Can you talk a bit more about the types of innovations with autonomous vehicles that are being considered? Autonomous vehicles. That means?
Self-driving.
Thank you.
Well, we know that they are coming, and we are looking to our experts to help us with that. Obviously, with self-driving vehicles, it will give us more capacity on our existing roads. I think the important message is we recognize that the transportation world is going to change dramatically in the next few years, and the Tollway staff and we are ready for that. We are excited about these advances and look forward to embracing technologies such as that.
Well, Bob, we're starting a trend here. Mary Sue, always count on the regulars to come through. Mary Sue Barrett, over there, Metropolitan Planning Council. I believe also decades ago, I was on the Transportation Committee with that guy Hyder. All right, here we go. Love the vision for automated TOU. Marked lanes. I am sure you all know what TOU is. Is that TOU? Toll. That's a double L, right? Toll marked lanes on freeways. Little California action here. How can we get this done? Congressional prohibition. I'm sure you know what all that means. That would be wonderful. Thought the job be easy, eh?
Well, we're looking at it. I mean, I think that we're looking at managed lanes on 55 right now. And obviously, if we can make those work there, and there's no reason that we can't, we'll be looking at those also on the Eisenhower. And managed lanes are essentially lanes where you have a guaranteed time to get from one point to another, and the pricing is based on the time that you go. And from everything we can hear, people are very supportive of these. If you wanted to come down here like I did today on the Eisenhower and you didn't want to be late, it would have been a very good investment for me to have a managed lane, and also made me a little bit less worried about getting here in a timely fashion. So managed lanes are on the very top of our list, and hopefully we can have some for you to try on the Stevenson in the near future.
Okay. All right, good questions. Sorry about my reading. How about a big round of applause for our speaker?